The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. How are you? Thanks for coming. Just close the door behind you. Close it. Thank you. Welcome to the show. If you don't know who I am, then I am the president of a large supermarket chain called Ron's. We sell seafood, fresh meats, and also ice cream. And that's what I do. I also own a real estate company. We've sold over 6,000 houses in the past 10 minutes. And I also do a sewing class for people that like to sew. I do that. And I also am on the school committee. I actually am the head of the school committee, but not in a town near you, so that you can't check that out for my veracity. And I also, that's about it. So thanks for being here today. What I do on this show is I talk about things that drive us crazy, that pretty much you can't do much about. Things that don't make sense. And me sitting here behind the microphone doing a half-hour show on television makes no sense as well. So perhaps I am the best example of what I'm talking about. What further makes no sense is the fact that you're watching this. So I guess we are the same, aren't we? I know what you're going to say. Hey, I don't have to watch you. I get it. I'm fine. Anyway, thanks. It's the summertime when we're recording this show. I never know when these things are going to air. The most current show I think that they aired was from 1987. So I never know. I really don't. But today I want to talk about a couple of things, if you will indulge me accordingly. Look, I'm using hand gestures in order to make the fact that this is a television video thing to make it worthwhile by having some type of arm movement. Before I started doing this on television, which was about 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago here, I think it was even longer. Oh, crap, I don't know. I think it was like 2012 or something like that. Started doing this here. Phew, God, what's wrong with me? And I used to do it somewhere, and they built a studio, and that was weird. And I said to them, why would you have just people sitting down and talking on television? And then I realized, oh, wait a minute, that's what public access is. It's a couple of people talking in chairs with some large fake plants between them and an end table. That's what public access is. Well, now it's a lot more than that, of course, but that's still the basic shell of it. So this is like a radio program on television in a way. In another way, it's kind of not. But it's as close to someone just sitting there talking to you as it gets to complete boredom. Okay. That being said, how are you? I try to promote local things as long as I'm doing the show, because I live in the area. And there's a couple of things I wanted to say to. Well, first of all, thank you to the town for not raising taxes. You financially saved my ass is what you did, and I appreciate that. I don't believe that in this town all the right revenues went to the right places. Personally, I won't get into that, but hey, who am I? Come on. I'm just saying. I think money could have been used more wisely, but nonetheless. That's not the point. The school system shall survive. You might have a few more kids in the class. Maybe you might even have to pay for volleyball. I really don't know. If it's extracurricular, then it's extra money. Rather you pay it on that end than in property taxes, which are absolutely ridiculous. In any event, there's that. I also I'm still chagrined that there is no taste of Easton. Is that the town this is in? What? It is? Okay. That there's no taste. I can't taste this town. There used to be this big thing that I've said this before. Every year you would go to this Stonehill College thing, and they would have her in other places, and you would pay a price. It wasn't too expensive, and you went from table to table, and they had booths and things, and all the community businesses had a chance to introduce themselves to the community, the banks, the organizations, all those kinds of things, and it was wonderful. And they had little handouts. You could walk home with a lot of free stuff, but you also got to know the businesses. I didn't know those businesses were there, so it was great. And then the restaurants, man, I tried some of the foods and I went, whoa, this is really good. And I actually went to the restaurant a couple of weeks later, and now I like some of them. I would have never done that had you not had this food tasting thing. So it's beneficial to everybody. So why don't you have them? Well, this stopped when COVID came around. But this is what I don't understand, man. COVID's over. I don't see anybody wearing a mask anymore. Well, maybe I do in the supermarket. I get that because it's the supermarket and there are weird people in there. I get that. But for the most part, man, people are going to the theater, to the movies and gatherings and stores. They're not wearing masks anymore. Buses, they're not wearing masks anymore. So what's your problem? Why aren't you doing this? Give me one reason why you're not doing this anymore. You could have raised money by having a big food tasting event because it was successful in the past. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know. And here I am suggesting that you do this again, and I've been doing this for 2 years, 3 years since the COVID thing kind of ended, to the point where it was no more dangerous than the flu, which can be dangerous too. Okay, fine, whatever. I just don't understand. I don't get a close-up on this show, do I? No, there's no such thing. There's nothing to see anyway. So I don't understand that. I don't get it. Yeah, anyway. What I wanted to talk today about you here this time, I'm going to give you the superficial impression that I actually care about you. Let's see how this goes. I was driving around a couple of days ago, driving down the street, and I see this woman lying on one of those lounge chairs, where you're practically on your back. And she was scantily dressed, which is fine. It's the summer. Women wear bikinis. That's not a big deal. She's lying on her back, and it's the sun is out. It was during the recent heat wave, and it was like probably 99 degrees outside. And she's lying back there, and she is basically roasting herself. And it's the direct sun, which is extremely dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. She's lying on her back, roasting herself. And when I go to the beach, this is a similar situation on a larger scale. It's men and women and children too, lying on their backs, scantily clad, just covering up their no-no parts, and they're roasting themselves like some type of a Purdue chicken. I don't understand it. Do you not realize that the sun is damaging? I mean, it's a wonderful thing. It makes it light outside. We play in it. If it gives you energy, the sun is important. But not to roast yourself in it. You can take something that's okay, a little bit beneficial, and turn it into basically lying in the depths of hell, which is about the temperature that you're experiencing. And some people put the suntan oil on them. Is it to protect against the sun? Well, that would be stupid. That's stupid. No, I think the oil is actually so that they get nice and crispy. They're roasting themselves. A lot of people do this. And on my radio show, for decades, especially within the past 6 months, I've had a lot of dermatologists on the program. Skin doctors to you. And every one of them is warning against too much sun exposure. It's dangerous. It causes cancer. He said the word. And I remember being shocked out of my pants when I spoke to a dermatologist a long time ago, and they were talking about skin cancers. And they said, did you know, Ron, they call me Ron, did you know that if you're a child and your mother takes you to the beach a lot, when you're a child, that later on in life, when you get older, when you become a senior, you can get skin cancer from that. Excuse me? I can get cancer, skin cancer from something that I did when I was like 6 years old? Yes. Oh my. I couldn't blame my mother because she's no longer with us. But I would probably call her up and say, Mom, what were you thinking? The answer is we didn't know that. We didn't know that when we were, but we know that now. We know that now. If you ever laid in the sun and you got a sunburn, which is very common to most Caucasians especially, and redheads, it's, yeah, I mean, different cultures have different things, you know, it's different genes, different things going on in their body. So some of them can take the sun, I don't know, but most can't. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I did not know that. So the dermatologists all agree that if you had a sunburn when you were a child or a young adult or at any time, that's an indication that you are a suspect and possible candidate for not only skin cancer, but for being president. It made no sense, and I do apologize for that. So I guess, I mean, I'm not the Pope or anything. I'm not pontificating. I don't know really, but I'm telling you, beware of the sun. Don't run into it. Beware. This is why people don't plan vacations to the sun. You can't get that close to it. You burn up. Do you understand how that works? The sun's a very powerful thing. At certain times of the year, it can pretty much do you in. You have to wear sunblock, wear a hat, long sleeves, a suit of armor. You've got to protect yourself against the sun. And when I see these people lying practically nude in direct sunlight for hours upon end, purposely lying there in order to crisp themselves up, they're trying to get a suntan. They want to turn their skin into a golden tan. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You think you look better like that? Okay, take your chances. And then when you hit 50 or 60, watch your skin start to close up and get wrinkles like an elephant. Got to blame yourself at that point. Now, some people take it a step further. Excuse me for yelling at you. Some people take it a step further and actually go to tanning salons. Now, I am not here to down that entire industry. As long as there are people that want to do it, there are places to do it in. Then there always will be. However, is it worse? Possibly. But it's certainly no better. Well, I go to the tanning salon because there's no sun today. Oh, what's going on with you? Seriously, can we sit down and talk about your self-image a little bit? Can we talk about that? If you're so into looking tan, then there's a thing called makeup. Not that anybody's going to really find you quite attractive that way either, but you could be a clown and put makeup on and be whatever color you'd like to be, even a member of Blue Man Group. Most of this tanning takes place, and I'm not, I don't want to put you down. Most of it takes place because of your own superficial ego. It's not good for you. It's dangerous. So I just thought I would help you out like that. Roasting yourself like a chicken doesn't make you a cook. It doesn't make you a chef. It makes you on the line of insane. So when you see somebody lying in the sun just roasting themselves with their nice clear skin, take a look at them and just go, make that sound, that ticking sound, and move your head back and forth. You know, like, oh, what a shame. What a shame. All right. Half the show has been expired at this point, and now I'm going to go on to subject number 2. If you are taking notes, and I know a lot of you do, this is like a TED Talk minus the TED part. If you are taking notes, this is part 2. Okay. I recently had a guest on the show that talked about stress. How more people are suffering stress now than they ever have before. You know what? I don't think that's true. History is full of stress. It's just a different kind of stress. We have created the stress of which we feel for 2 reasons. One is because of technology to make life easier, which has made it a lot harder. Then there's social media, which screwed up everything. And then there's problems in the world, but there's been problems in the world ever since we had a world. So that's been really constant. But the fact that we can get this news like shoved into our minds 24/7, that's been a stress factor too. So how do we relieve stress? Well, I have found through conversations and personal activity that you have to convince yourself somehow that there's no reason to stress about something that you can't do anything about. And I have compiled a list of things that people get stressed out about, but they can't do a thing about it anyway. So why be stressed? Get stressed about the things that you can deal with, not the things that you can't do anything about, because it's an endless destruction deal. Here are some of the things that people get stressed about that you can't do anything about. I'm going to use the word about apparently quite a bit now. First thing is the weather. Whether it's freezing cold outside or incredibly hot, like 100 degrees for 4 days in a row, people talk about the weather. The biggest conversation in New England right now is we haven't had a dry weekend for 2 months now. And they complain about the weather. And if it didn't rain for 2 months at all, they complain about that. My lawn is brown, and all the streams and rivers and the animals and the bees are dying, and we haven't had any rain for 2 months now. What do you want us to do? Get the rain plane to fly over and dump rain on us? It doesn't work like that. We don't do things like that. We don't know how. It doesn't make any difference anyway. But we complain about the weather. We can't do anything about it. We blame it on Mother Nature, which is a little sexist. Where's Father Nature through all this? Father Nature knows to shut up. Mother Nature, she's going to do what she's going to do. Don't deal with her. Just let her do it. That's what Father Nature says. Okay. The weather. You can't. It's a good conversation and it's an icebreaker, but it kind of goes nowhere. I mean, once you've talked about the weather for 15 seconds, there's not really much you can do with it. But we all have the same problem with it, and yet we can't do a damn thing about it. So it's complaining about something you can't do anything about. And that's what I'm talking about. That's stress. The next thing is pains, aches and pains. I'm talking to you, even though you don't, the camera's over there. When you reach a certain age, you get aches and pains for no reason whatsoever. And here's the scenario. You're going to go to the doctor and say, my shoulder hurts, my knee hurts when I bend it, and what can I do about it? And they say, well, we can give you some medications, but to be honest with you, it's just your body like saying that's it for that. It's arthritis. It's when the muscles and all those things and the tendons and they all the bones, they all just don't have all the components it takes to walk smoothly or move smoothly anymore. So you kind of have to live with it. But yet we complain about it all the time because the major motive conversation between anybody over 50 years old is your health. But a lot of it, you just have to live with it. You just have to. But that's complaining. That's stressful. It's stressful because we find things to complain about. Complaining is our mode of connection. Look at what we're doing here. I know you're not talking to me. I know it. I don't know what I did wrong, but you're not talking to me. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Something else that is extremely stressful that people deal with every day with stress, but you can't do a damn thing about it, are other drivers. Have you noticed that within the past decade or so, maybe 2 decades, all of a sudden there are a lot more people? I don't know where they came from, and I'm not talking about immigrants. I'm talking about people. They're all over the freaking place. Have you ever gone into a store or walked down the street and all of a sudden said to yourself, where'd all these people come from? I don't remember a lot of people at an earlier time in my life. Look at all these people walking around. Where'd they come from? Where'd they come from? They weren't here before. And they're all driving cars. When I was growing up, here he goes. When I was growing up, back in the 1600s, my father and mother had one car. It was the car. It wasn't your car, my car, the family car. It was the car. It had the in front of it. And that was the way we lived for a period of time. And then all of a sudden, like a click of the fingers, all of a sudden everybody has a car. You have a car, I have a car, I have a car. Everybody who lives in that apartment or that house has their own car. And they don't know what to do with it, but they got one. Even babies have their own cars now. It's amazing. They can't drive them, but they have them. There are so many cars on the road, and the roads were not built for this kind of population. You know they weren't. And then they extend the highways, and they widen the highways, and that takes like a year to do with the construction, which causes traffic, makes it even worse than it was. So now we're constructing, we're widening the road, and when we're done, it's going to be much, much better. Yeah, it's going to be much better because now you're not going to be doing construction anymore. That's why it'll be better. So they widen the road, and then all of a sudden, by the time they finish it, now it's not even wide enough. Now, you should have made it even wider. Because in the amount of time it took you to widen the road, there have been that many more people on it. Where are these people coming from? I don't remember them. Traffic like crazy. It's the other drivers. It's not you. It's the other drivers. So we get stressed about driving and all that stuff. There's even a thing called road rage where someone cuts you off, cuts into your lane in front of you. Your immediate reaction is, well, I'll cut into their lane. Don't do that. 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 There are so many horrible repercussions to doing something like that. You have to just let it go and say, okay, regular person, asshole. Am I allowed to say that here? Well, you know what you're thinking, what I'm thinking. It's the people, man. Where do all these people come from? Everywhere I go, there's more people than there used to be. Got to wait online. When I'm calling a company or dealing with a company, I have to wait. I have to wait until it's my turn. Some companies will say, well, we'll call you back rather. Your wait time is like 30 minutes. There should never be an announcement on any kind of customer service line that says your wait time is 30 minutes. if your wait time is 30 minutes, hire somebody and cut the wait time. If you have to get 20 people to answer the phone in your business, you get 20 people. But now we got AI coming on. Now you're not even going to have 3 people. You'll have no people. You have one person that'll answer all the questions that AI can't answer for you after you've tried to argue with AI. Hey, but what about this? But what about this? Why am I yelling at a robot? What's going on here? So the one person that speaks English, and believe me, that's hard to find, they have to call you back. We love to sell you the product. We love to give you the service, but if you got a problem, I'm sorry. It's robots, or we'll call you back when we can. But you won't lose your place in line. No. I think I will, and I think I do. The other thing that we can do nothing about is a common complaint amongst most people who are older, and that complaint is, hey, those kids today, they're complaining about the kids today. And the funny thing is, when you were a kid, they were complaining about you. And your grandparents were saying kids today. It's passed down from generation to generation, and that's the frustration with the next generation. That is a constant, because we don't understand. I remember my mother, when I was growing up, talked about the Beatles all the time, because I listened to the Beatles here and there. And my mother said, how can you listen to that music? It's just so simple and so nothing. And I said, I don't know, Mom, I like it. And now I say the same thing about the next generation's music. And I said the same thing about the last before me generation's music. It's all whether you're there or not. But see, if you understand all this stuff, then the frustrations tend to turn into, okay, I have to tolerate now. I gotta tolerate other people, the weather, the pains in my body, other drivers. I gotta tolerate this stuff. I just do. And when you come to that realization, the stress is kind of a little bit off your shoulders at that point. Because you can't worry and stress about things that you can do nothing about, really. All you can do is learn how to cope with it. And when you do, things get a little bit better. And the last thing that you can do nothing about is the news. Don't watch the news all the time. These 24-hour news stations will put you in a grave. I swear they will. They're going to analyze and pick through and unpack every small piece of information in any place of the world until it will drive you crazy infinitum over and over again. You cannot exist on the news. It will teach you how bad things can actually be, but it won't teach you how good things can actually be. Remember, it only takes one rotten person to spoil the bunch. I don't know what that phrase is, so I'm not going to try it, but you know what I'm talking about. Something spoils the whole bunch or something like that. But that's all it takes. I mean, there's evil people in the world, there's horrible people, there's stupid people. They seem to be prominent. And that's what news does. It brings out all the oddities and the horribleness and the things that shouldn't be happening, and it dumps it into your lap, which is connected to your brain. Dismiss it. Watch local news only, because they just touch upon the other stuff that you can't do anything about. You can't do anything about most of this stuff. You should be aware, but you shouldn't be absorbed and involved. Unless it's, you're an advocate for something, that's the path you took. God love you. God love you. Okay, I'm just about out of time. You've been wonderful about this. You really have. I'm going to be back next week to do another episode about other things, because I've already exhausted this particular subject matter. So, until next time, I wish you peace.